A lot of ecom brands hit a wall with the creatives and they don't know why. Maybe you start off ripping an ad from a competitor, it works for a bit and then it dies off. You try to do more volume, people say, make more variations, test different hooks on the same concept, but nothing hits like the original ad. So what do you do afterwards? You find different ads to rip and the cycle continues. You're always stuck in this loop of copy-pasting things, zero understanding of why anything works or it doesn't work. But most gurus, most YouTube videos, courses teach you this strategy to rip. Right. The issue is that at a certain point, you can't find any good ads to rip anymore. So since you never learned how to write your own ads in the first place, you don't really know your customer well enough to create angles from scratch, what happens? You can't scale. Then what advice do people give you afterwards? You need to get a team. You try to delegate things too early. You hire a creative strategist before you ever return a winning ad yourself. What's the problem with that? Now, you can't evaluate if the creative strategist did good work or not. You don't even know what to look for, you're just hoping that your hire will save you just because you paid them, however much it may be. Meanwhile, the brands I know that are scaling the hardest, the ones scaling to $10 million plus per month, that I've coached as well, they are usually crushing it with creatives that it's not just better ads that they ripped or just AI prompts. The founders themselves, they genuinely understand their customers because they do real manual research, not even using AI to do deep dives. It's just manual research because the research is where they're reading how the avatar thinks and speaks. So in this video, I'm going to break down the biggest unlock for increasing your creative win rate, manual research, and how we're going to do that. We're covering where to do it, how to organize it, and how this actually translates into writing ads that actually scale. So let's dive in. Alright fellas, so why are you stuck with your creatives? Like you said, most of you guys hit a wall with your creative strategy for one of these three reasons. The first one, rip creatives that work, now they're fatigued, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to create your own ads. You try to test more new ads by ripping, testing new hooks, but nothing works. So you're stuck in a cycle of copy-paste with zero understanding of why things work. Besides that, now you're relying on ripping ads one-to-one from competitors, which of course, it won't perform the same as you because if you're copying from them, the auction is going to favor the original brand. So you're always left behind. And now you can't adapt because the underlying psychology is missing. You don't know what's working, what's not, and you need to learn how to ideate your own ad angles, not just steal surface level concepts. If not, you'll always be behind. And then, if you don't know why things are working in the first place, you try to delegate this creative too early, whether that's through an agency or whatever creative strategist hire it may be. Before you do that, you don't know what a good creative strategy looks like, so you don't know what the agency or hire is doing good or not. So you're just praying and hoping the hire saves your business, which if the creatives and Facebook ads is the most important part of your business, you delegate that without understanding it, it's not going to go anywhere. Because no one cares about your brand, your business like you do. So then what happens? You're stuck with inconsistent performance and no real creative engine, which is why all these dropshippers constantly need to test new products because they can't figure out how to scale beyond their initial ripped creatives. You try to do this over and over again. Insanity is defined by doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Over time, more of try to do this, try to rip, you might get to a certain scale at one point, but it always diminishes over time, which is why you need to figure out how to actually stand out in the market through your own creatives. If you don't fix it, what happens? So, some of you are reliant on AI slop that doesn't work. Your guru tells you just take a winning competitor script and then put it in AI and rewrite for yourself. Guess what? If you just use GPT to understand your customers, you just skim over it, you don't actually know if it's good or not. How do you then scale if you don't know whether the AI script is good or not? Right? It sound good in your head, but it doesn't resonate to your customers because you don't even know who they are in the first place. Your competitors who actually did the research, who actually understand their customers, know what the customers want, can display that in their ads, they're going to crush you regardless. They do manual research, they know their avatar, the ads resonate because they write it from a point of understanding them instead of just copy-pasting templates. It's not how marketing works, right? Meanwhile, you're stuck figuring out why the deep research, your AI stop, ads just aren't working anymore. So again, you'll be stuck in this ripping cycle, or now you just rip and then your own creatives is just AI slop with, hey, GPT, hey Claude, rewrite this script. You're never building your own creative muscle, so you don't actually know what's good or not, and then you still won't be able to scale. You're still dependent on finding the next competitor ad to copy or a new store to run it up again. You literally have no mode. Right? You're literally a professional VA at this point, copy pasting. You don't know what's working and what's not. This is the majority of you guys over here. So, how do we then solve this problem? Surprise, surprise, manual research. Why do we do manual research in the first place? A lot of people ask me this. Hey, Sean, why don't you just use AI and save your time? You can get everything done so much faster. Manual research forces you to actually read and digest information about the avatar. It's the gritty work, it's the trenches, but honestly, 90% of people are too lazy to do it. So you rely on AI, which may or may not be accurate. And most people don't want to do it, which is why most people are running at crazy scale. So this is where your advantage can be. Manual research is good because you understand your customer, you see the patterns, you see how your avatar thinks and speaks, you understand the language of your customers, which makes when you write the ad scripts, the language you use just flows naturally to your customers. Visual congruency, of course, becomes obvious when you understand what your avatar actually cares about. What type of visuals do they want to see? What type of words do they want to see? The knowledge becomes a competitive edge versus people who just run GPT prompts. What you need to understand is this. It's not about how much research you can do. It's about who you become after the research. Let's say you see a competitor's ad now, right? You're not going to rip it one-to-one. Maybe you can think, okay, what avatar are they targeting? And how can I target a new avatar that speaks about different things, about different languages? Now you're not copying them. You're a different audience. That's your mode. Now you're a totally different brand, right? You take market share of another place. That's how you win. How do you do your manual research? As many places as possible. Reddit forums, where avatar hangs out. If it's skincare, it could be r/skincare. r/skincare addiction goes even deeper into specific avatars and problems. Answer the public is a cool one as well. Let's say for the brand you want to start, the store you want to start, you want to search something for skincare specifically, you can search it. Then you can see what people are actually searching for the most. Why skincare products cause cancer, why skincare is necessary, etc. Obviously, be more specific about it. Don't just type skincare. It can be whatever product you're targeting. Skincare foundation with UV. See what people are actually searching about. Then from there, you can use this information, go onto Reddit, go into your different social media platforms, and find content around it. See what people are speaking about it. Any problems, any issues they are facing that you can then put in your ads. Facebook groups, good one as well. It all depends on the age of your audience, right? If your audience is older, 40, 50 plus, likely in Facebook groups, you can chat with them, see the posts they make, what type of posts goes viral in those groups, probably the ones you should be creating for your ads, the words they use, the images they use, you can recreate it. Amazon reviews as well, yours or your competitors, Trustpilot reviews, YouTube comments on relevant niches. If you're going on skincare as well, skincare girl YouTube videos, what the comments say. Is there any niche specific language they use you can replicate? TikTok comments, competitor ads comments, post-purchase service data. There's a ton of different data points, right? The answer is always not just one place. It's not the best place. It's wherever possible that your customer is at. The brands crushing it with creatives aren't using better AI prompts than you. They just understand their customers better through manual research. That understanding shows up in every script, hook, and angle you test. Even for me, like most of my ideas just come from doing manual research that comes up. Because those are the things that your competitors will never be able to do if they just rely on AI prompts, right? It's not about just writing to write. It's about genuinely understanding your customers. Even if you just wrote the same ads as your competitors, but the language you use, the visuals you show, is more aligned to what your customer actually wants, your ad will still do better. You have the understanding only when you do this manual research. Right, sweet. You know how to do the research. How do you actually make winning ads now then? So, for each angle or avatar, of course, you need to have it documented out. Don't just have it in your head. You can document it in Notion. I like to use Google Docs myself. When you do the manual research, really just any phrases that resonate to you, screenshot it. You can use it verbatim, word for word. Language patterns. How do they actually speak? Obviously, someone who is in skincare, they are 40 plus compared to a 20-year-old girl. The ones are different. The languages they use are different. So something you need to keep in mind with. It helps you relate more to your customers that you're one of them. Any objections that keep coming up are things that you can put in your ad. If everyone keeps saying this foundation causes skin burns, you can specifically mention in your ads it does not, if your product actually does not. You know what the common problem is, you know how to solve it through your product. Same thing, emotional triggers as well. How does that make them feel? Does it, for your 40 plus year old, does it make them feel more self-conscious when they go into workplace, during meetings, or are they afraid of their husband noticing? These are things that you can also target and note down to create your ad. So once you keep building these documents, this is what's going to happen. Of course, you're far less reliant on AI. You actually know what your customer wants without it. You know how to connect and communicate with your avatar. You understand how to structure your sentences naturally when you write your scripts. And you know which words actually resonate versus which sound good and don't land. This way, you can actually know which objections to handle before they even come up. Because a big problem that people always come to me with is they don't know how to write ad scripts. A lot of you guys rely on this AI slop. Just rewrite my script, Claude. You don't know what's going to not. Until you know how to do it yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to scale. And how you figure out how to write good copy, it's not crazy formulas. Some people always ask me, what does your structure look like? Any crazy formulas? None of my ads have the same formula or structure to it. It all just depends on how well it flows, how well it targets the customer by showing it visually, what they like to see, what are the words they use day to day. That's how you write good scripts. Not like some secret formula that's guaranteed to convert. It's not how this works. So doing this makes everything so much more frictionless. I get it because when I started out, I'm always looking right. But I know when people are just beginning, they always try to ask you for things like, what's your exact thought process for this? What's the step by step to figure this out? When you get to a higher scale, right, you really try to do marketing at a higher level, there's no magic formula to it. You need to know as a marketer yourself how to do the research, how to take vague pieces from everywhere and Frankenstein it and piece it together to your own concept. There's no magic formula to it. It is hard to do, which is why not everyone can make ads to scale to 100K per day. It's something that you need to train and repeat until you fully understand what's working and what's not. Doing this, when it's time to hire a creative strategist, you know how to do creative strategy yourself, briefing them becomes super easy. One of my students, he was doing like 3 mil per month himself before he actually hired a creative strategist. Now he's doing a lot more. Why? He actually knows whether a creative strategist is good or not, and he knows how to train them. Besides that, when you evaluate your team's work, it becomes much clearer what's good, what's not. Besides that, real creative engine is finally built that isn't dependent on brain dead ripping. If you figure this out, you do everything manually, you understand your customers, you get to a point where you can actually confidently scale any brand because you understand your customers so well, you can make anything work. You don't need to rely on competitors to rip anymore. You can literally become a one-of-one brand. And although it's a job-shaped product, an existing product, you figure out how to actually stand out to your customers more and actually build a real long-term brand instead of having to keep ripping stuff and then your store dies and cycle repeats. If this video was helpful for you and you want even more source on the ad making process, we actually have our full research and ideation SOPs. In fact, we have over 200 modules of our internal SOPs and trainings on how we create winning ads. It is a lot, but it's how we scale to over 100K per day. It needs to be dialed. We have it all within our elite consulting community, Evolve, with over 500 brand owners doing anywhere from 100K per month to $10 million plus per month. We've helped 18 of them, in fact, hit over 100K per day. And inside, we break down everything that is currently working for top brands and everything that is not. So if that's something you're interested in, you want us to help you figure out what's working, what's not, and help you figure out bottlenecks, the link's down below if you want to check it out. Besides that, always remember to take action.